All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute. There, that's better.
So the other night, Trump was doing another interview, and a matter of fact, let me pause right there. Let me just say that it is crazy. I don't know how Trump keeps up with his schedule. This guy is all over the place. Sometimes it feels like he's two places at once. And as someone who is, decades younger than this guy, I can't even keep up with covering his schedule. By the time I'm covering one of his interviews, he has 6 more, and he's on live television at another rally. It's really hard keeping up with everything that's going on in this election, at least when it comes to Donald Trump. You know, Kamala Harris has done 1.5 interviews so far. But anyway, during this latest interview, Trump revealed, or he talked about this hilarious story involving Tim Walz. He talked about how he was first introduced to Tim Walz. And instead of describing the story for you all, I think you should hear it from Trump himself because it's hilarious. And then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
It's strange. He called up years ago. I was in the White House, and he said, my house is being surrounded by people with American flags. I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? He said, I think they're going to attack me. This was during the riots and everything else. They were MAGA people. You know, they like the American flag, all right? And they also had Trump. And I said, how do you know? There were about 15,000, He said, could you put out a word like that I'm your friend? I don't even know him, but that's the only time I ever spoke to him. And if you look back long ago, tweets, before Truth, tweets, long ago, I put out a statement. He's a good man, the governor. He's on our side. I didn't know him, but I didn't want him to get hurt. And everybody put down their flags and they left. Yes. He said it was a miracle. He said it was a miracle. I didn't want him to get hurt.
Scared by the American flag.
They are.
They say he's not a nice guy. I would have had fun with that. It's called a barbecue. Go outside.
He remembers it, actually. He was a little bit nervous about things. They had one guard. He said, we have one guard at the door. Mm-hmm. It was the mansion for the state. Then he said, we have one guard at the door, and you have 15,000 people out there. And I'm a little bit, I don't know, they look violent. I said, are they carrying the American flag? They're not going to be violent.
Yes.
But I put out a statement, and they just went back. It was sort of a beautiful thing in a lot of ways. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong on this one. Maybe what I'm about to say is a little bit radical. I don't know, but I feel like if you are an elected politician in this country, you should not be scared of the American flag. You should not be scared if you look outside and see people carrying American flags. Because you're here to represent America. You're here to represent other Americans. If I looked outside right now and I see people with American flags, the last thing I'm going to think is, oh, these people are out to get me. The only people who would think something like that is someone who's committing treason against their own country and their own people. If I looked outside and I see a bunch of people with American flags, I'm going to assume, what, is this some type of holiday I didn't know about? Or are we about to have a cookout? I don't know. But Tim Walz, you see, he's known for being the guy that supported his own people, his own town, and the small businesses in Minnesota. He's known for supporting them being burned down by BLM. So when he sees the American flag, he gets scared because he knows he's anti-American. He knows that as an elected official, he's been doing things that are anti-American, which is the only reason why this freaking nut job is so freaked out by the American flag. But it's funny that is how Trump was basically introduced to this guy. And, Trump being the person that he is, he even tried to help him. He tried to throw him a bone, tried to get the people to go away, to stop bothering Tim. I know Tim has ruined your communities. I know Tim was supporting your small businesses being burned down, but just leave them alone. You know what I mean? Now, do you think these people would do the same for Donald Trump? No. They're out here every day inspiring their crazy voter base to go out there and try to do things to harm Donald Trump. Meanwhile, you know, Donald Trump shows his character. Obviously, Tim Walz is no supporter of his, but Trump tried to do the right thing and get people to leave this guy alone. But I just thought that overall this was a hilarious story, especially the way Donald Trump says it, you know, the looks on his faces when he talks about these things. And it's just further proof of what type of guy Tim Walz is. He'll go out here and spew all this nonsense about Donald Trump, but when he was scared in his home, afraid of the people of America as an elected politician, he's afraid of the American flag, as he was cowering underneath the sheets, underneath the covers in his home, because people were outside with the big bad American flag, he turned to Donald Trump for help. But for now, I want you all to turn to the comments below. Let me know what you think of this. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and if you find yourself getting too worked up by all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.